All right, good morning, Professor Yvonne.
Good morning, Ashna.
So today I have with me Professor Yvonne Henry, who is a very valuable member of the Centennial Biotechnology and Food Science program. The first question to you is, what courses are you currently teaching this semester?
This semester I have my favorites, my usuals. Professional practice, which is professional skills for the biotech students. Food science seminar, which is similar topics, but they get to go on tours in the industry. So I get to go out every week and see a different company. And then a BAM lab course, so introductory lab techniques, which is fun because you either pass or fail. So there's no marking in the course. It's just like, let's play. And I get to take a very different teaching style in that lab than I do in any other lab. So those are the ones I like. My other standard course is usually food micro. I teach that one quite often too.
My next question to you is, have you always known that you wanted to go into teaching, or how did your career lead you to this role?
I never intended on teaching. No way.
Really?
No way. I knew I wanted to be in the sciences. That was for sure. It just sort of happened that when I was a third-year student in the biotech program, I was looking for a job on campus, so I took on some tutoring. And I really realized that I love this. By teaching somebody else, I'm relearning it and being really confident about it. And it just sort of stuck. And then I let it go, went and did my university, got a job, and then just randomly decided, let's see, if I email one of my old profs, what's going to happen? And there you go. I was like, right away, I was 25 and I was offered my first teaching contract, and I was scared as can be because some of the students were older than me. And, it was a very quick, big learning curve. Yeah. But it's not a career anymore. It's just a passion.
I love that. Actually, I just signed up for my first teaching role 2 days ago. So maybe I'll have a story very similar to yours. Let's find out. Do you have any hobbies that you don't share with anyone?
Oh, I try to share my hobbies every chance I get.
Okay.
So one of them is being craftsy. And of course, I brought some examples to show here because I had these on my desk for a year. So I like to take laboratory supplies and turn them into something else just to make it neat. So these are Petri dishes that I've turned into medals this was supposed to be a skills challenge from 2020 that because of COVID got canceled, but I had already made the awards. So I've done bouquets of flowers out of pipettes and Petri dishes, lots of creative things. And I love the lab coat decorating. That's another big one that I think you have to find a way to make the science fun and engaging, because there's enough stress studying for exams, so make the school environment a little better. And if I want that environment, I have to make it myself because I can't rely on others to make my work environment fun.
I really like that you're one of the professors that brings fun and entertainment into education, because I feel like that's the way it sticks the most. Mm-hmm. It sticks effortlessly without you feeling like you are learning, you are studying, you just somehow already know the information and it's always at hand. Do you use specific teaching tools in class, apps or physical tools?
Not so much that I even think of it as tools. I have found in the last 5 years or so, I have really gone towards the online teaching and technology teaching. So doing live surveys in the class or virtual bulletin boards in the class, or making a lot of videos myself, or even making assignments where I want the students to make videos, not just write a paper report. So that has been sort of where I've been shifting. And I am currently developing a course for this September and finding out I need to learn how to program HTML because I want my course to be pretty and I want all the little designs in it. And the only way I know how to do it is copy code from another course that's already been designed for me. So I've been editing HTML this week, even though I know nothing about it. So I would like to learn that more and bring more of that into my courses. A lot of engaging, not just read, but read and then click, or read and then do kind of things. Yeah.
Do you procrastinate a lot?
No, never. I hate it.
I can't. That must be nice.
I do things about a week ahead of time, and if they're not done 3 days ahead of time, I start stressing. I am not a procrastinator. And students will probably know if you compare my speed of marking to other faculty's speed of marking. I'm usually, get stuff back within the week because I don't want to have the job hanging over my shoulders. So it has to be done and clear. No, I'm very much a list maker, very organized, and I'll make a list of the lists I need to make tomorrow to do things for. So no, I am not a procrastinator at all.
I love that. And that's a little bit me, but I find a way to procrastinate into it. You make lists of lists?
I do. Actually, let me rephrase this. I do procrastinate, but mostly with like house cleaning and laundry. I ignore all that stuff in exchange for like intellectual things where I get to talk to students and marking.
If you had to choose between beer, wine, water?
No beer. I can't stand beer. Not even the smell of beer. Ugh. I will occasionally drink a glass of wine, but very rarely. Water. Water is generally my go-to. I'm boring. No coffee, no tea, water and orange juice.
You don't need coffee to run, nothing like that?
No coffee.
I know you talk about your kids a lot and how they like to learn, very hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any fun stories about them now that they're a little bit more grown up and don't want you to talk about?
Well, one of my props, let's see if you can guess what this is. DNA. My oldest child, when they were about 4, got this as a Christmas gift. This was their first giant microbe collectible. And they've been on it ever since. This morning, my oldest son was telling me they were doing a news report yesterday, a fake news report. And I was so proud of them because they were saying they were looking for things that are living. And they came up with Dolly the sheep. So my 12-year-old did a report about Dolly the sheep without my prompting or anything. They just wanted to do it on their own. I'm like, yes, I got the science in there. But I've been bringing microscopes home and petri dishes home since they were old enough to not eat them. So they have been very familiar with science concepts, and it's a different approach to parenting. I've always been very factual, so I'm not afraid to use real words of body parts when talking to kids or real names of different things. So they've always had a good relationship where they can ask me something and I'll tell them truthfully. So that's sort of my approach to teaching them.
I'm super jealous. I'm the only science kid in my family, and everything I had to research by myself, and it was always boring, like sit by yourself in a room alone research. So I'm, very jealous of the good life they're living. Have you ever taken samples from school back home to test, or vice versa, something from home?
Any chance I could get, yeah. Especially when I worked in the industry lab, because I was a supervisor. I locked up the lab. Nobody saw if I took a stack of TSA home. On many occasions, I have gone into the kids' school, into kindergarten classes, and had all the little kindergartens wash their hands and stick it on petri dishes, just to gross out the teachers a week later. It was so fun. They had no idea, and they're all freaked out. This was pre-COVID. We were doing this too, right? No, I've brought petri dishes home, definitely. I've had my kids and students isolate their own DNA from their saliva. Like, I just love to bring things home for them to do. I do think of one project where I had earrings in my co-op, and I took the earrings out and there was like stuff on the back of it. I'm like, what is this? So I took it to my job, my co-op, and I tried growing it, and it was nothing. It was boring. But I have most recently brought my cat's boogers to school.
Anything interesting?
Antimicrobial resistance to everything. Yeah.
No way.
I had a cat with a very chronic sinus infection, like 10-year sinus infection. And when it would flare up, I would get a Q-tip, get some of the sample, and bring it to school and just spread it out and try and figure out what it was. And then if there was antibiotics that would work on it, because the vet was just trying everything when we were running out. So I'm like, I'm going to do it my way. And it was resistant to everything the college had options for me to test. So any opportunity I have, I'll bring in stuff.
I know that you're a part of the Biotechnology Student Society. How did you get into that? What was your, how did you find the need to start something like that? And where do you see that going?
I didn't start it. It was existing before I came, but it had a very different focus before I got involved in it. In the industry, I was always on a company's social committee, so planning the company's barbecue or the Christmas party. So I was involved in creating that environment, making it fun. And I just wanted to continue that here, to like bring the work environment I want into my life, because no one's going to bring it for me. So the club before me was doing great, but they were very, very focused on academics. Like, let's create this conference and invite all these people, which is an awesome opportunity, but you got to have the fun too. So the first couple of years I was partnering with another faculty to co-lead the chair. So they were focused on the academics, and I'm like, let's have a Halloween party. These kids, some of the students have never experienced Halloween. So it's a passion of mine. And if I have the right students, we can just do anything that we want. So I loved having people inspired to be as enthusiastic as me and as proudly geeky about science as me.
Now, the students watching this are everyone from semester 1 through 6 of the biotechnology program. Is there anything you want to share with them? Either maybe things to do or things not to do going into the program, general life advice. Keep in mind these are international and domestic students.
Right. As a teacher, the thing that used to drive me nuts, which doesn't so much apply now with electronic assignments, but write your name on stuff. Your lab coat, please, because it takes us a couple weeks to learn your names. Your lab kit, so you don't lose it. Your assignments. At this level, I still get assignments without names on them. My advice is just make sure you love what you're doing and don't give up. Your first job might not be the job you love. Mine wasn't. My co-op told me I didn't want to work in that industry. So I went and did more schooling, and ironically, I came back to that industry for the majority of my career. But don't give up. It took me 10 years to get a full-time teaching job, but it was meant to be. So keep trying. You might have to go another route to get where you want to be, but keep trying.
Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing everything about your personal life, your academics, and just some things for us to keep in mind. I know that a lot of students are going to want to start further conversations, maybe inquire about how to get these Petri plates, or just, even a little bit more serious questions if they want to come to you maybe for mentorship, to ask a couple of questions. Where is the best place they can reach you? Would you prefer LinkedIn, email, something completely different?
Email is usually the best way to communicate with me. I am regularly on there. Once you graduate, LinkedIn, absolutely. That's where I go for all contact with graduates. So make sure you have me on LinkedIn because I often post jobs. And that is one of the main reasons I keep in touch with students after they graduate is helping them with their careers or job searching, or they're helping me place other students into jobs. So I like to continue that post-graduation communication because it benefits everybody, not just the current student, but the next generation of students. And that's how I link up to get tours for students, is I have graduates that are now willing in a place that they can give it. So email me, definitely. And I usually respond in a day. If I haven't responded to you in a week, it didn't come to me. Email back.
Thank you again for taking the time and just sitting down here with us and having this honest conversation. Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm sure your inbox will be flooded now at the end of this. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you.